thank you very much. And thank you for that fantastic presentation you just had. Well, you just heard the benefits of being in the UK. And I'm sorry I'm not in Georgia at the moment, but I thought I would show you the benefits of where you could be working from. And all those incubators and accelerators you just heard about, well, this happens to be London, but there's Leeds, there's Manchester, as you've heard, there's Belfast, Glasgow, and so on. And this is the advantage, that you've got all of this beauty you can see on camera, and the proximity. And the fact is that you're able to, within easy reach, have so much of the things you need to make business easier. So I figure you probably want to have a look at that, then have a look at me. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to share my screen, keep that view on, because I think it's inspirational, far more inspirational than I am. I'm actually at the Financial Times building as we speak. And again, that's the benefit of it. It's the connections, the networks, the proximity to the things you need to make business a success. So let me just share my screen and take you through some slides. Don't worry, they're very good slides, just like the previous ones. Actually, the previous ones were better than mine, so I'm going to be able to go through my stuff a lot quicker. Hopefully you can see absolutely everything on screen that I am showing you. So as you've heard, and what I'm trying to show you through the window there, and this is what we have. When it comes to ecosystems, this is what you want to be close to. You want to be close to the talent, you want to be close to the capital, you want to be close to the infrastructure. And the great thing about being a relatively small island like the United Kingdom, or having great cities like Edinburgh and Belfast and Cardiff and London, is all of this is in close proximity. And thankfully, the British have been building this for centuries, and we get to benefit from all that infrastructure today. And that's really one of the key reasons why, as a deal maker in the Department for International Trade's Global Entrepreneur Program, when I'm talking to entrepreneurs, I'm bringing those talented entrepreneurs to the United Kingdom, helping them set up their global headquarters over here. And the reason why my hedge fund is here, and the reason my fintech business is here, is exactly that, for the same reason, is the convenience, the ease of doing business, as you've already heard. Okay, and that's the biggest selling point. You know, when I ask people, why did you want to set up in the UK? The thing that always comes up is ease of doing business. Other things that come up are, of course, fintech growth. Again, you've heard about how that's growing. Well, you don't need me to convince you of that. You're in that sector because you want the growth. And that's what we're part of. But our job is to make it easier for you to grow and go global from the UK through that access to networks and access to capital. You do not want to be wasting your time having the frictions of doing business, because you want to get on with selling your products and services. And that's what the United Kingdom brings. You already know the massive trends. You're probably, if you're in fintech, in one of those sectors that you can see there. Well, the great advantage, as you've already heard about the United Kingdom, is that we have got that depth of expertise in every single major fintech sector. So whichever one you're already in, you're going to find a great home and access to that capital and those networks. You've seen the data already. It was fantastically presented. I have to say, listening to that presentation, had I not already been in the UK, I'd be getting the first flight out here. And I know you'd think, oh, well, you're obviously going to say that because you're there and all the rest of it. But I can tell you there's a reason. I've just come back from Manhattan, and there's a reason I prefer London. And it's just so much easier. Yes, we can export around the rest of the world as British companies anyway, and we sell to America, we sell to Australia, we sell to India, and all the rest of it. But the UK was and is a great base for us. I'll make sure this presentation's left with you. And before I go on to what the Global Entrepreneur Program does, what my unit within the Department for International Trade does, one thing that I want to get across to you is the two main things I'm asked the most is, can you open doors and can I get access to funding? And as you've already heard, there is a phenomenal source of funding from within the United Kingdom, whether it is grants, whether it is venture capital, angel investment, whether it is loans, the amount of capital. Well, the United Kingdom, in terms of the venture capital industry and the crowdfunding industry, is twice as big as the nearest European competitor. So you're just saving a heck of a lot of time by having access to capital here and not having to chase it. That's the first thing. The next thing, in terms of the networks, I've already said, whether it's the academia, whether it's the skills of the companies who are already here, all the people that are trained up by the companies you've already heard of, like the Revoluts, like the Monzas, like the Starling Banks, those people who are already trained up by them are then moving around. They're moving for employment. They might join your firm. So you've got a whole load of expertise of people who've worked in unicorns. And we want your companies to be future unicorns. And I hope everybody listening to this has the ambition to be a unicorn, because if you don't, then you're missing a trick. You should be. I mean, we're living in an age where we can build billion-dollar companies within a few years, let alone, it used to be generations. Now it happens in a few years. I find it astounding. And certainly that's an ambition I wish for all of you. And that's our job, to help you do it. So all these resources, we'll make sure that you've got the presentation so that you can access all those various links. Let me now tell you a bit about my program, the Global Entrepreneur Program. Okay. You know the great numbers when it comes to the UK in terms of fintech income, the size of the economy, and so on. What I want to talk to you about is, well, what is this program, the Global Entrepreneur Program? We look for the most outstanding, talented entrepreneurs from around the world who have scale-up businesses, who want to relocate their headquarters to the United Kingdom, want to relocate themselves to the United Kingdom, and want to go global from the United Kingdom. So we're a subset of the Department for International Trade, and we want the best of the best. And that means businesses with traction, with scale, with the ability, when we look at their business plan and look at their financials, we can say, yeah, we can see how this would become a unicorn. And then our role, through deal makers such as myself, our role is then to help them go global by opening doors to various networks. The networks you can see sort of through the window and in the city, through those various networks, open doors also to venture capital, angel investors, and also, more importantly, give them the strategic advice that business people such as myself, the other deal makers, and the DIT team have, actual on the ground networking expertise and strategic advice, and whether it's on how to raise capital, go through their pitch decks for them, just finesse things as well. Because that's what makes a successful business. They say your net worth is determined by your networks. We want to make sure you've got the networks which are represented, whether it's by this city or whether it's Edinburgh, Cardiff, Belfast, any of the great cities around the United Kingdom. And by the way, and I'm from Leeds, I'll give a shout out to Leeds. We're the largest financial centre outside of London. And the benefits of being outside of London are, well, first of all, you can get to London within minutes, as you've already heard, or just a few hours, as you've already heard. And there's a better quality of life, I think, being outside of London, because your money goes far further and you can hire people at a cheaper rate who are incredibly skilled. So do consider outside of London as well. And just so you know, I'm not a clever cyber bot. I will put on my regular camera. There you go. I told you you'd prefer looking at the view than looking at my face. Like I said, I'm sorry I'm not in Georgia, but hopefully I've brought a piece of Georgia over here to London in what I've described, and hope I've made it very clear, as you've already heard as well from that fantastic presentation earlier, that it's the networks we can open doors to, and it's the going global.